Take a look at this portrait. This is Richard Wagner, the 19th century composer famous for operas that last 15 hours, feature angry gods, and usually end with everyone dying in a spectacular fire. But right in the middle of his career, he wrote something completely unexpected. Die Meistersinger for Nuremberg operates as a textbook romantic comedy, packed with the familiar character types and setups you'd see in a modern summer movie. The story starts with a classic meet-cute. A young, passionate knight named Walter and a local woman named Eva lock eyes across the pews of a church, and both are immediately hooked. Strip away the elaborate German text, and the character dynamics are instantly recognizable. We're watching a universal story about a boy, a girl, and a father who is about to make their lives very difficult. Eva's father has made a public promise that complicates everything. Tomorrow, he is marrying his daughter off to the winner of a local singing contest. To even enter this contest, you have to be approved by the Meistersingers. They are an exclusive club of shoemakers, bakers, and tailors who treat singing like a competitive sport, strictly guarding the entrance to their ranks. Walther realizes immediately what he has to do. He needs to infiltrate this club and pass their audition this afternoon, even though he lacks any formal training. He's attempting to cram a lifetime's worth of highly specific, arbitrary musical rules into his head in just a few hours. By setting this condition, Eva's father turns a simple courtship into a desperate race against time, forcing a passionate outsider to confront a rigid institution on its own terms. The Meistersingers' rulebook is comically specific. They enforce requirements like the short, long, and overlong tones, or the fresh orange and departed glutton melodies. Enforcing these rules is Sixtus Beckmesser, a snobbish town clerk planning to win the contest and marry Eva himself. During the audition, Beckmesser serves as the official marker. He hides inside a booth with a piece of chalk, and his job is to tally up every mistake the singer makes. 7 strikes and you're out. Walther is walking into a trap. He has to perform a flawless song against a rigged rubric, judged by a rival who has every reason to make sure he fails. When Walther steps up for his audition, he ignores the textbook. He belts out a soaring song inspired by the sounds of the forest, ignoring nearly every rule they have. Inside his booth, Beckmesser scratches a line for every infraction, filling his entire slate with more than 50 mistakes. The rest of the Meistersingers recoil at the performance. They dismiss his melody as chaotic, incomprehensible noise, a direct threat to the tradition they've spent their lives defending. But one man pushes back. Hans Sachs is the town's cobbler and the wisest member of the group. He recognizes that while Walther's song doesn't fit their narrow guidelines, it possesses a fresh, undeniable beauty. The Meistersingers are so focused on their specific traditions that they miss the actual creativity staring them in the face. With the audition ruined, Walther and Eva meet in a dark alley that night. They decide to skip the contest entirely and elope, but their escape route is suddenly blocked by this instrument. Beckmesser turns up with a lute, planning to serenade Eva outside her window to practice for the big contest. Eva quickly stages a decoy. She swaps clothes with her nurse, Magdalena, and sends her to the window so Beckmesser thinks he's singing to his bride-to-be. Hans Sachs sees the whole thing from his shop. To prevent the lovers from ruining their future with a reckless elopement, he moves his workbench into the street and starts loudly hammering shoes to disrupt the music. Sachs uses his craft to solve the problem. By acting as a loud, physical marker with his heavy tools, he dismantles the clerk's performance without ever revealing that Walther and Eva are hiding just a few feet away. The result is a ridiculous musical duel. Beckmesser screams to be heard, while Sachs slams his hammer down on the leather for every wrong note the clerk hits. The noise echoes through the alley, finally waking up the neighbors who open their windows to shout for quiet. Then the real chaos begins. Magdalena's boyfriend looks out his window, sees Beckmesser serenading his girlfriend in the dark, and rushes down to attack him. Within seconds, the entire town spills into the streets. It's a hilarious brawl with dozens of townspeople in nightgowns throwing wild punches in the moonlight. The loud blast of the night watchman's horn suddenly cuts through the noise. The crowd vanishes into their houses, and Sachs pulls Walther safely inside his shop just as the street goes silent. The alley is empty, but the contest is just hours away. Walther has failed the audition, the town is battered, and the final prize is still up for grabs. proving that this supposedly intimidating masterwork has all the suspense of a modern comedy.